All right, so let's call the meeting to order. We have a quorum, this being the 23rd of November. And I'd like everybody to read the minutes of September 28th, and we'd like to approve those minutes. So I'll take a motion. Everybody's ready.
I think there's a typo in old business on the YMCA part. I assume that we're trying to use both hazardous materials and petroleum funds and not trying to sue both hazardous materials and petroleum funds.
Okay, let me get there. Hold on. Under old business, YMCA, where is it?
Yep, in the second paragraph.
Well,
Third line down.
To use both. Yep, so that means just
look
that.
well there, Mark. Okay.
Good. All right.
Hello.
Anything else or a motion?
Hi, Tucker.
Hello,
Yeah,
Tucker.
I'll second.
Okay.
Mark Kulis.
Who did the first?
So Shane made the motion
He
and
made the motion. Okay.
Mark Cola second. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, all in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Yes.
Let me unmute Stacy. Stacy, are you voting aye?
Okay.
I'm voting aye. I was on the phone with Tucker. I'm sorry.
All right. Okay, so yep, so we can move on. The minutes are,
Okay.
Okay, the minutes are accepted.
yep.
Item 4, the correspondence.
We have
Any
no new-
correspondence do you have,
No
Deanna?
new correspondence this month.
Okay, me either. Okay, old business. Amy Valancourt. Amy, how do you do today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good. So, Amy, you're going to provide us with a little information, I suspect?
Yep. So we're actually muddling along in the time of COVID, but we're teeing up to do the hazardous building material sampling at the YMCA and the drilling and tank removal. Our last piece is just EPA's final approval on our sampling plan. So we're waiting on that. Was hoping to be doing that this week, but EPA is off this week of the holiday.
Okay.
49 Church Street, we were in a similar boat, but we moved this one along a little faster. This came up at the last month's meeting. We've completed a draft of the phase 1. Again, we wanted to get out there this week and do the asbestos sampling, but we're waiting for EPA approval. We still might have potential to do the concrete coring this week. We're trying to arrange that with the current owner.
Okay. Is it anything that will hold things up too much?
No, not really. It just seems like in this time of COVID, everything just has extra layers of organization and sort of delays. We're still doing field work, but it takes a lot more coordination.
I'm going to interrupt real quick and just say Tucker Braddock is on the call now, so he joined the meeting at 6:11 for the minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Tucker.
Hi, Tuck.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Deanna. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Tucker.
So I know that I talked to Amy today, task order 18, which is for the those concrete coring for 49 Church Street. These guys are anxious. They're moving along. I'm sure you saw things in the newspaper, the articles, and they just want to, do that. So like I said, Amy is reaching out to EPA, and hopefully that could be either this week or the following week. I know with the short week for Thanksgiving, it's a little tricky, but maybe the following week. So, but we are going to move along as quickly as we can as soon as we get that approval.
Okay.
All right, Amy, anything else to report on either task order 16 or 18?
Nope.
All right, Jim?
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions for Amy? Okay, Amy, you're off the hot seat for a little bit. Tucker, that we're on item 5, Tucker. And
Okay,
now
Jim.
we're now moving to item 6 with the
Okay,
new
thank
business. With the new business, we're discussing and considering the following funding. And Deanna, go ahead, explain that, please.
So this is a task order number 19, 134 to 140 Providence Street. So this is a parcel of land that the city owns where there's a park there in Taffville. And I actually have Kathy Kreese on here this evening. She is the Director of Community Development for the city of Norwich. So I'm going to let her explain what she's looking for and why we are moving forward with this task order. Kathy Kreese.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Deanna. I just want to let you know, this is a project, the Recreation Department requested funds to build a basketball court on the existing Taffville Park. There were 2 basketball courts in Taffville. One of them was rebuilt. The other one was taken away because the Taffville Fire Department needed additional parking. So they're looking to put in a basketball court in the back of the fire department down in the park. However, this is new construction, a whole new site, so we need to do an environmental assessment on the project.
Okay.
So
And
Amy,
it's funded by Community Development Block Grant dollars, but we didn't realize that we'd have to do an environmental assessment at the time.
And
Kathy,
Yep.
may I ask a question? This is Tucker Braddock speaking.
Hey, Tucker.
Have there been any changes on the property since it was a Taffville Little League system?
Not that I'm aware of,
Yeah. Okay.
but you know, federal funds.
Yeah. Okay.
right.
Okay. I am.
Okay.
so
And
we asked Amy, based on the conversation with Kathy, and we have some environmental funds available, and this is a city project that's already going to be funded for the basketball courts. I did get Amy to come up with a task order number 19 for your consideration. It's $3,500 to do the phase 1 that's required for this project to move this project forward in the city. Amy, do you have anything to add on this?
any questions?
No.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Did we have to do a phase 1 when we put in the playground there?
So, yes.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, just to explain it, we've moved to a new system of doing environmental reviews. There's a whole process that's followed. So many communities weren't doing them correctly. And we're now doing it through a different system, which unless you cheat the computer system, you really need to follow the steps. So we're just making sure it's done right.
Okay, no, I don't have any problem with using the money. I just was curious if when we put in the playground, if we had to do this
Yes.
phase 1.
Well, we will look back at our records and could not find that one was done, and did a little bit more research and snooping, and still didn't we determined that one wasn't done when one should have been done probably at that time. So we are going to definitely cross our T's and dot our I's now and doing it.
Okay.
Markulos, so the environmental assessment comes out of our EPA funds as opposed to the community block development grant?
Yes, so that I don't think the block grant is allowed to do assessment with that money. Kathy, do you want to talk about that?
So we could do an assessment with that money. However, it wasn't budgeted. So if we took the money from the basketball courts to do it now, they wouldn't have enough money to do the basketball court.
Okay.
All right.
That's the
Okay.
problem.
How much is that, Kathy, that you're spending on the courts?
Oh, geez. I'm going to say between 60 and 70 off the top of my head, Jim. I don't have the
Okay.
number exactly, but it's somewhere between 60 and 70.
Okay.
So we thought that this was a good use of the money. It's something that has to be done. It's a city project, and we know
Right. It's a
gonna be
huge
developed.
enhancement to the park. It replaces one that was taken away by the city, you know, for another very good use. Obviously, the fire department personnel need a place to park as well. So,
Okay.
So it
Any,
should include the basketball court and some parking too?
so it won't include parking. They'll just be removing the court and putting in parking. So it's not much to do. But this will be, because it's being relocated. If we were just going in and resurfacing and doing that stuff, we wouldn't need to do an assessment. We would do a standard environmental review. But because we're going to be tearing up new earth, putting down, you know, asphalt, doing that type, we really have to do an environmental assessment.
Right. Okay.
So what I'm
All
looking
right.
I will make it.
Go ahead,
This is
That's what we
Braddock
need.
speaking.
Tucker, go ahead.
I will make a motion that we spend the $3,500 for the environmental study.
Okay.
And of course, we won't be, there'll not be many lads and ladies out there playing basketball this winter, but it certainly is a fun
Right.
spring activity. And I think that we should I think whenever possible, find things for our youngsters in this community to partake in.
Okay. A motion by Tucker to spend the $3,500 maximum to assess the spot. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is
Stacy Gould.
Stacy, okay. Of course it is. And how about a vote? Anybody in favor? I am.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
So just so we have it
Okay.
on the record, that's Mark Poulos in favor, Shane Roberts in favor, Tucker Braddock in favor, Jim Cordo, and Stacy Gould.
And
Okay,
many thanks from Kathy Crees and the Recreation Department.
okay, Kathy.
Thanks.
Good work with that.
Thank you very
good.
much, guys. I appreciate it.
You're very
You're
welcome.
welcome. Thanks, Kath.
Bye.
All right, Kathy, thank you.
Okay. Well, very good. Going back to the agenda then. New business we just discussed. Is that it, Deanna, for new business? Do you
Yep,
have
we
anything
have
else?
nothing under other unless somebody had a specific question. I guess I'll do a quick report on there may be some interest in, and I'm not sure yet, there may be some interest in doing that, the phase 2 over at the marina now. But we're not, are you everybody there?
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure. And, but we're not sure yet. So that's still kind of on a hold. Remember, we had a task order for that and we didn't vote on it because we weren't getting the owners, the Joyals were not going to get permission for access. So that's being worked on potentially. So that's kind of still out there. I just wanted to, but you haven't voted on it yet, but I'm just kind of keeping that as a placeholder. The other thing is, we've talked about other projects that we could do and we are going to start getting, lower obviously in our funds. We have to decide if we want to use the rest of the money for YMCA at some point YMCA for the hazardous materials for demolition and have that cost estimate. So we go out to bid and basically it'd be a bid document that would be prepared because of the hazardous materials.
What button do you think I would push to get it back in the video?
All right.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just Mark Poulos. Approximately, do we know approximately how much money we have left in both the regular and the hazardous, and when our final date is, when the extension goes to?
Yep, Amy, I'm going to let you jump in.
Yep. Oh,
Generalizations.
yep, no problem. So in petroleum funds, there is about 35,000 left. And in hazardous substance funds, you have about 37,000 left.
Okay, still got some monies there, huh? Good.
And it ends, when was it, what was the date that our extension's to? I forgot off the top of my head, Amy.
So you have a year from now.
Yeah.
And what, I'm sorry.
11 of 21.
Okay, hold on. To be people talking, Tucker, go ahead.
Is that November of 21?
I'd have to
It's
look
re-
at the exact date. I can pull it if you want.
It's really the end of September 2021.
Yeah, I think that's what it
September
was.
30th.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay.
So will we have enough funds there to pull tanks at the YMCA?
The task order you guys already authorized
Yeah.
covers pulling the tanks. That's already accounted for when I
It's
give
already
you.
set aside. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is with the next step, Mark, if we decide the city is moving forward with a foreclosure on that property. And if we end up getting it and we need to demolish it, this would be the bid specs to do the demolition and hazardous materials. And it would save the city quite a bit of money if we could do it with the money, have that task done with this funds.
All right. So
Great.
combined, we still have 75,000 left.
So,
Okay.
and again, so there's two things, is that maybe the stuff at the marina and maybe the YMCA. There's no other ones that are ticklers at this moment besides those two. But I would like to pretty soon make those determinations so that we can even, we still have a while, September, but it's gonna, Amy still has to wrap up all those projects, do all those reports, do all this stuff. And we don't want to be waiting till May to try to figure out what we're doing, or June or something.
Unless there's a surprise at Church Street that we find.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wouldn't be cleanup because we don't do cleanup, so it would just be more testing. So I can't imagine. Amy, is there anything that you think would jump out at Church Street that would need more?
No, not really. The use of that going back was really just like office, and they had, some medical there and art school.
It was a Hebrew school.
Yes.
Right.
So
Right.
if
I went to school there.
if anything, we're doing some limited asbestos sampling because they have to do some minor stuff to get their brewery operations going. But they don't have funds to do abatement really per se. So they want to limit that. They just want to know what they have to impact. Does it have asbestos? And do they have to remove it? They may not have.
Okay.
So-
All right.
Will they may I ask a question? Sorry,
Absolutely.
Brad. Will the asbestos be in the brewing area?
Yeah, floor tiles that are on the floor that they want to be able to set the
Well,
brewing equipment up on.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
they could just
How-
probably pour a pad or something over that, right?
They said they would go over it if they could, and they can. The other thing is they have a wall they have to take out. They have to get their brewery equipment in there. So, there's a number of things we'll be testing for them in case they have to impact it to do their renovation.
And the other possible thing would be like lead caulking in the windows.
So they're not touching any of the windows and doors.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
So that's what we have
And
for
that will-
others for news.
Good. Okay.
And
A question,
Go ahead, Tucker.
Dr. Braddock. Will that have any impact on Uncle's health, or we don't need to have Uncle's health involved in it?
They don't
Well-
typically come out for hazardous building materials, but, they may need to do my company typically handles permitting for breweries because they have a lot of, wastewater discharge and they have a strong water use.
Right.
So if they need that service, we could certainly talk to them.
Tucker, I think you're
Okay.
talking about lead. Is that what you're talking about? Or asbestos? Is that what you're talking about, the Uncle's Health needing to be involved?
Yeah.
Oh,
What I was
they're not really involved in that unless it's residential. If there's children involved and there's health things like that, that's when the health district gets involved. As far as commercial, they really don't get too jumped into it unless residential people are living there.
That's great.
So
Good.
really in
Thank
the restaurant industry, they don't care how much asbestos or lead gets in your food then.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they really jump in when it impacts children and
Yeah,
Right.
if they were doing food, because we do some breweries that offer food, the health department will come in because they have to get a certificate to be able to serve food.
Well,
And
that's their
then
whole
they're-
operation. I mean, it's brewery
Yeah.
and they also have a full service restaurant.
Yeah,
They're
and they
not going
will,
to cook in the basement, though. They're not cooking in the basement.
No.
and they will look at things like deteriorating lead paint, this
Yeah.
building doesn't have that kind of environment.
All right.
Okay.
Right. So nice. It's a great building.
Yeah,
Very
yes,
cool.
certainly is.
It's very clean,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
and could I
Alright.
just ask one question, please?
Sure thing.
Stacy Gould, on the phase 1 on 556 East Main Street, can we get an update on what's happening there?
So I do have a draft of the phase 1. They have some issues dating back to when it was a mill. I haven't dug into the draft that much, but we do have an update on their situation with being stymied because he was doing the work. Got the blight issue, started doing the work without a permit. So his hazardous building materials, he had a company come out and do the sampling and the materials came back non-hazardous. So he was able to keep going with his renovation. He got his permit for what he was doing.
Okay,
Phase 1 turned up things like tanks and, drum storage and things like that.
Okay.
but he's moving along now with whatever he needs to do to the building.
Yeah, he was doing window replacements. He was doing siding. and his contractor at the time was just ripping through everything. So Dan and Brittany called me, you know, to go out and help guide them. And in turn, talking with the gentleman, he had not done any investigations for hazardous building materials before he started. We offered to do the sampling if he needed it, which he did, but he was afraid to do the sampling, that it would roll into something else and he didn't have money for a cleanup.
Okay. Well, because I was just concerned why the Norwich Police Department requested we do this.
It started with the phase 1, right? They were going to acquire possibly for parking.
Oh,
They were
okay, I
looking at
see.
the
Yeah,
adjacent school.
right. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Pat had asked if we would look into it. I mean, and then all of a sudden the owner out of the blue started working on it.
Working on it. Right.
Brittany had
Right.
sent him a blight letter. So it was kind of like, it was this, you know, dead in the water thing. Nothing happened. And all of a sudden he starts working on it without any permits and stuff and causes all these issues. But we were doing a phase 1, which we didn't need to get in anyways, just to kind of get the background of what was there, so that if the city at some point did acquire it or it fell into our hands for tax foreclosure or whatever else, that we would know it was there, because the police was interested, the police department were potentially interested in the school next door for the police department to relocate eventually.
Right.
He did indicate he is looking to sell that building. So that phase 1 can help any developer coming in.
Okay. But he's now working within the confines of our permitting system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Today,
No
This is
end user or anything like that. They're just, you know, putting windows in, doing the things that are aesthetically, the problems that they had there because of blight issues. The fence was falling down, all the hazard, you know, material, not hazard, but the material that was inside, throwing it outside. They just were making a mess. Brittany has an order for them to clean it up, and that's what they were doing.
Excellent. Okay, good.
Good. Tucker, did you have something?
did they put a, yes, thank you. Tucker here. Did they put a price in which they wanted to sell the building for? Or was it just a statement they wanted to sell the building?
Oh, he had just said that while we were out there, that he's trying to, you know, get interest to sell the building, and
Okay.
he ended up getting a blight order. He was holding out, was my impression.
Yeah,
It
he's
sounds
in
like
there
it.
pretty,
He's waiting for the big upswing in prices in Norwich.
I
He's
guess.
been waiting for a long time.
It's starting. Hey, it's starting.
Residential is selling really good right now.
It's starting. They done right it is.
Yeah.
Things are
So-
starting.
So if you don't mind, is it okay if we keep moving on here? We don't
Okay,
have, okay, go ahead.
okay. We all set with new business then?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank
Citizen comments?
We have no citizens on the call this evening.
Okay, before we adjourn, I would like to just jump back to approval of minutes.
Yeah,
Item 6 on the old minutes. And it just came to my attention because we just spoke about the $3,500. Anyway, on item 6A, the very last sentence is the cost will be $13,500. Is that just a misprint, or was originally you were?
That
thinking
was,
13,000?
I think that was for the
That was for
School
Church
Street
Street, wasn't it?
that's
Right.
Church Street.
Yeah.
That's Church Street in the minutes for 49 Church. That's because we're doing the
Uh,
sampling and stuff, Jim. It's not a phase 1,
Okay, that's right too. Okay.
okay?
Yep.
It is a
Voted.
phase 1, but it is also sampling for
Yeah.
asbestos and doing the concrete cores.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
the 3,500 is the very new phase
That's the
1.
new, that's the playground.
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
that's it,
Okay.
all right?
So that
Okay.
that was basically virgin ground. There was nothing built on top of that, right?
At the playground?
At the playground.
Not that I know of.
No, I don't think
Not-
any buildings have ever been on that site.
I played ball there with the kids. I mean, I used to manage a baseball team there. It goes back 45 years ago. I don't ever recall it being a building there.
Yeah.
35 years. Oh my God, you're old, Tucker.
He was coaching this too. Yes, he is old. Okay, well, let's move on then. Notice, no citizen comment. I have a open, I need a motion. for
Motion to
adjournment.
adjourn.
And before we do, everybody sign off, I would like to know if, is my video coming through? I'm gonna push a button.
Oh,
here for these
okay,
things.
go ahead, put it on.
So let's take a vote first. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Poulos, seconded by
Tucker Braddock, second.
Dr. Braddock. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, we are adjourned.